messed up his last time out in a close loss on Saturday at Florida State, a game that would have been a huge win for Notre Dame, but no use crying over spilt milk at this point in time, and no one's going to feel sorry for you. It's about getting notches in that win column. Both these teams absolutely need it tonight. And we're underway. Wake Forest controlling the tip. And they're going to have to, again, live without Sean D. Brown, but Olivier Sarr, the 7-footer, a lot is going to be on his shoulders, and this man as well, Childress. Sarr going to take the mid-range jumper off the mark. Rebound going to Rex Pfluger. The Irish go through John Mooney, but they have a lot of three-point shooters on this team. Mooney will take it out if he has to, but prefers not to. The alley-oop down low, and we'll get a quick foul on Sarr. That's something to keep an eye on. Manning's bench is not long.
Well, and Notre Dame starting two bigs. Now, they've played two kinds of lineups. Juwan Durham at the line with John Mooney. They'll also go with a 4-round one. But like you said, not a lot of depth for either of these teams, so foul trouble becomes an issue, especially with Sarr picking up a quick one, becomes an issue for Wake Forest.
Notre Dame, as Mike Brey's teams are wont to do, they don't foul very often. And so it is going to be Wake Forest's job to try and get the ball into the paint and force them into fouls. The 7-footer Sarr. Brandon Childress at that point guard spot. Torrey Johnson is a player that Danny Manning pointed to this morning and said, in Shawnee Brown's absence, he stepped up. There he has the ball. Now Sarr puts it on the court. That is a nice move for a 7-footer.
It sure is. And he has gotten so much better. I mean, he's an NBA player. He's got unbelievable size at the 7 feet, like you said. He's an outstanding shot blocker, a good rebounder, and his offensive game, as you saw there, I mean, he put that on the floor out from the top of the key.
Mooney just missing. Sarr with the board. Here comes Childress. Childress working on Gibbs, and we'll get a call against the Irish. Take a look at Sarr.
This is a big-time play. This is an NBA play by a 7-footer. One dribble, high off the glass with the touch. That is high-level basketball right there.
Here's Childress open for three. Buries it.
You know, the defenders worried about Sarr. It's a really well-designed inbounds play there. Under out of bounds by Wake Forest. Got Childress open. The attention that Sarr drew.
Mooney now working inside. Sarr is there for the double. That leaves Durham open. He's off the mark. Adrian White will look to push.
Nice.
Try to get it inside the Johnson. Quick hands, though, by Hub. Prentice Hub, the sophomore. Coming off a big game for him against Florida State. Had 24. Look at that long three-pointer off the back of the rim. That's a good matchup to watch. Gibbs on Childress. Sarr fouled as he goes up. Danny Manning told us this morning he wants to get that ball in the paint, work it in with Sarr.
Well, you know, it's a Notre Dame team that only plays 7 guys. Mike Brey telling us today wants to go maybe to an 8th, might play Jogo tonight, but not a lot of depth. And Sarr, he's a tough matchup because he can also pass out of there. He's learned how to play out of the double team. He has seen a lot of doubles of late, but he's a lot longer than this front line. This front line of Notre Dame is big, but Sarr is a lot longer, especially when he catches it close.
Danny Manning going to his bench early. Sarr's going to get a break. He's going to bring in Isaiah Musius. 7-0 run right now for Wake Forest. They're up 7-2. Here's Hub looking to dent the scoreboard. Goes baseline, gets shut off. Almost traveled, does not, but forced to take a bad shot.
And Hub will run hot and cold, and that's 2 bad shots to start the game. Now, like you said, he has played well of late, and one of the reasons he has is he has scored the basketball.
Steal this time by Notre Dame. They may give it right back, and they do. Good hustle by Musis. Mid-range jumper by Johnson, nails it.
Like you said at the top, two of the things Notre Dame has done this year, they don't turn it over and they don't foul. They basically force you to beat them, to execute against them. They're not going to hand you anything. That last possession, and then this one right here, they have now handed, that's 2 turnovers. One in the open floor that turned into a bucket, and then the offensive foul here where Pfluger just pushed it off.
Pfluger called for the foul. Mooney gets a little bit of a break now early for the Irish. Coach Brey going to his bench. Bringing in Nate Laszewski. Now we'll go the other way. So a couple of offensive fouls. This time, Wake Forest guilty of the infraction. The Irish get the ball back.
And that's Odi Oguama. So the 2 big guys for Wake Forest each have a foul.
Prentice Hub on Johnson, goes to his left, creates a little bit of space off the back iron. Durham gets the rebound though, keeps it with the Irish. Now Pfluger drives. He's shut off, but he finds Gibbs off the back of the iron. Nice look by Hubs though. Laszewski finishes.
Off an offensive board, it's a great find by Hub, and you hope maybe that gets Laszewski going if you're Mike Brey, a guy they've been a little bit disappointed with how he has progressed. A sophomore, 6'10". They'd love to play him more. He just hasn't been as productive as I think they thought he would.
Nice drive by Childress, everything but the finish. And Laszewski pulls the board. Gibbs drives and we'll get a call. You can?
Well, let's start here. He was right. Like, there were a few calls that were not good calls. It was not well officiated.
But this was about more than just that game, wasn't it?
I know. Well, let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez, man. And hopefully I don't get fined 20 grand for saying the
for interrupting me.
Not good. Yeah, we'll fine you 20 grand. So that, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and I think people have to understand the context. Like, football is not a member of the conference. They play 5 games. And Mike Brey has been dealing with this for 20 years, where football was not a member of the Big East, and they're not a member of the ACC.
Right.
And he's not the only coach outside of football who feels that way, I would imagine, here at Notre Dame. So, look, they've been on a losing streak. They weren't playing well. It was a tight game on the road that they felt they could have won. The officiating was not good. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew he was probably going to get fined. But, you know, you're trying to inject some stuff into your team, I think. And
right.
It's probably not the venue to do it if you wanted to be $20,000.
Well, right afterward, he wrote himself a personal check and delivered it to the assistant athletic director. And he paid it himself. He said, I cover my own expenses, and I will write this personal check for the 20 grand myself. Covered it. He said that was that, and now they're moving on. Hub misses the jumper. He's off to a little bit of a rough start. Alley-oop to Sarr. He doesn't get it to go, but he gets fouled by Laszewski. Right up next on the ACC Network, we'll send you to Chestnut Hill, Mass. Boston College will host Louisville. Watch out for these road games in the ACC.
Is that your advice?
If I'm Louisville, that's my advice. Conti form, you're going to get everybody's best shot. And we've seen it already. Heck, Florida State saw it from Notre Dame this past weekend. If you're one of those top 2, if the top 2 or 3 teams really in the league, you've separated yourself from the rest, but that doesn't mean you can take any game for granted, especially when you go out on the road.
Yeah, but my thing is, if you are national championship good, and you're Louisville, you got to win that game.
You don't trip up.
Like, I get how the league is played, but it's the same with Florida State going and playing Virginia. I mean, you got to win that game, and that game's there to be won.
Sarr was 7 points early.
And nobody has really done that.
Chance to see Dane Goodwin, one of the top 6 men in the conference. Leschewski's strong, and he draws the foul.
The one thing I'll say about Mike Brey is he did say he was going to stay in his seat all night tonight. He was going to be on his best behavior. Now, he has been out of that seat quite a bit.
He has been on his best behavior, but staying in the seat, we knew that it had zero chance of happening. Leschewski trims the deficit to 4 points. Both coaches going to their bench, too. Jacoby Neath in the game for Danny Manning and the Deeks. Again, without Shawnee Brown, he could play in an emergency situation, but I think they would rather not. Here's Mucius from the corner. Hits the 3.
Another guy who's starting to play much better, and they've needed it with Shawnee Brown out. He's got all the tools, 6'8", good length, good athlete.
Pfluger trying to get baseline, cut off by Childress.
See the spacing from Notre Dame. Everybody outside the three-point line.
Leschewski, he'll take that 3, and he'll hit it. He's off to a good start off the bench.
He's a guy who had a reputation coming in as a shooter. You know, he was really probably the highest regarded guy in this sophomore class. A really good sophomore class coming in. Like I said earlier, he hasn't come around yet, but man, what a good start he's off to here tonight.
Mucius again, this time from the elbow, knocks down the jumper. Nobody picks up Pfluger. He'll shoot a 3 and nail it.
That's that tempo Mike Brey telling us today they wanted to play with this year. Pitch ahead, look for some shots early.
Now Mucius has gotten open on 3 occasions down the court, and he's hit all 3 shots.
He's wide open at the foul line. There's no defense being played right now.
Pfluger again from 3. He drives out to Gibbs. Extra pass in the corner. Goodwin just in and out. Leschewski battling for the board. Here's Goodwin again, and he buries it, and the bucket. So Dane Goodwin with the and 1.
You know, these three-point shot misses create long rebounds, and Notre Dame has scored off a few of these so far. You know, Goodwin again, the beneficiary, and I like the call. When you slide by, I am always going to give the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player, and I thought a good call there.
And that's trouble for Manning because that's 2 fouls on Sarr. He's going to have a seat.
And Oklahama's got two also, so
yeah.
You're 2 bigs for Wake Forest, both with 2 fouls. They're going to go a little bit smaller here against Notre Dame's 2-3 zone.
Goodwin completes the 3-point play. The Wake Forest lead is 2. Massoud, opportunity to see that young man for the first time for Wake Forest. Neath drives, nice little dish. Mucius couldn't get it to go at first, but now another bucket for Mucius. Last 9 points for Wake Forest, courtesy of Isaiah Mucius. Goodwin stepped on the sideline, and it'll be a turnover to Wake Forest. Isaiah Mucius coming off the bench tonight.
Well, you mentioned the 9 in a row, and it's been a variety. You got a 3-ball here from the corner pocket, and then you got a little mid-range. We're going all 3 levels, folks. Stay with us. Foul line, and then a little O-board. Finishing underneath. Flex on him. Isaiah Mucius show. 12 points. And by the way, that North Carolina loss to open the year, they got the best version anybody's gotten of Cole Anthony.
The best freshman we've ever seen, ever.
So, and everybody else, a lot of teams have been able to play Carolina without him. So it's, look, and they haven't won at home yet in conference.
Yeah, that was something Mike Brey said earlier today. We really need to get it done here at home in front of the home folks, which shows you how important today is for Brey and this Irish team. Adrian White with his 2nd personal foul for Wake Forest. So fouls becoming an issue for Danny Manning here in this first half.
Part of it for Notre Dame, they don't really have a closer. You know, they have good players. John Mooney's a great player and is having a great year. He's just not that guy. So at the end of games, late clock, they just haven't had that guy who you know is going to have a great chance of getting you a bucket.
Goodwin gets in the paint, just gets a little bit of space. Iron unkind. Here comes Wake. Wake now operating with 3 of their starters on the bench, each with 2 fouls. Mucius luck runs out on that shot. Mooney has position, gets the pass from Hub, but couldn't convert. Masood. Can't get it to go. Johnson's there with the offensive rebound. Seven to shoot. Johnson drives. Mucius couldn't get the foul called on Mooney. A lot of contact, no whistle. Hub with the crossover. Gets it back. Jump stop, had nowhere to go with it at the foul line. Now in the Mooney again, who has position. Goes up strong. Couldn't get the first one to go, but gets his own tip.
And a great second jump by a guy who's really a below-the-rim type of player, but you see the second effort. I mean, the thing I love about John Mooney is he delivers the first contact. He's tough, he's not afraid, but he stays with the play just like that.
Hub will try and push. He doesn't get the call. A lot of contact there, too.
I mean, this is
out of bounds to Wake.
This is what he does. Just an extra effort play. And guys, you know, the first shot goes up, Wake settles, and he's right there on that second tip. He's got a good pair of hands, good soft hands. He's just a vacuum cleaner around the rim, I'm telling you. And he's gotten so much better as an offensive player. Mike Brey telling us today.
Childress just sneaks his way into the paint and one.
You know, they had Virginia beat Wake Forest in their last game at home, and they played it without this guy. And what a year he's having. Does so much for them, runs the team, is their leading scorer, leader. I mean, he's having a great year. They just, you know, they haven't, without Shawnee Brown, they haven't had really another guy around him outside of Sarr who can at times, you know, give you a consistent offense.
Juwan Durham picks up his second foul for the Irish as Childress completes the three-point play. Nice looking cut by Gibbs. Couldn't get the bucket, but he's fouled. Thursday night's women's basketball doubleheader on the ACC network starts in South Florida when Miami hosts Georgia Tech at 6 Eastern. Then it's off to Central New York for Virginia Tech and Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. Gibbs to shoot 2 for the Irish.
And here's Jogo, you know, again, did not play in their last game, hasn't played a whole lot. I think Mike Brey trying to extend his bench a little bit.
Wake Forest has been nursing that 2-point lead now for a good part of this first half. Irish can't seem to close the gap. Masood will take another 3. He hits. This young man, now Coach Manning told us earlier today, Ishmael Masood, the freshman out of East Harlem, New York, just keep shooting, young man. He's got the green light and doesn't lack for confidence. Gibbs air ball on his attempt. There's a look at Masood. 37% from beyond the arc.
Well, the one thing that Danny Manning has been able to do is play a lot of their young players. I mean, they've got 3 freshmen who get a lot of minutes. Neath, Masood, and Oguama.
Neath coming off that Oguama screen. He drives. Nothing doing. Oguama was there for the board, but it gets stripped. Gibbs on Johnson. There's Mooney. Over to Hub. Hub with a floater. Doesn't get it to go, but Mooney is there for the tip-in. He's just hanging around the basket.
Well, and he thinks 2-3 steps ahead. I mean, he's really a smart basketball player.
Johnson shut off on the baseline, back to Childress. 12 to shoot for Wake. Childress thought about it, passes it off to Neath, who's open for 3, but barely draws iron. Gibbs is open, and he makes it. That extra pass.
It's one of the reasons they lead the ACC in assists, is they make the extra pass. You know, you give up a good shot to get a great shot.
First 3 of the night for Gibbs. The lead is 1 for Wake Forest. Okwama now on the block. Trying to work on Mooney, but he walked.
It's like he's wearing Stickum, John Mooney. The walking double-double, look at him. In traffic. We're talking about giving up a good shot to take a great shot. Mooney catches it here, and he realizes Childress, who overhelps. Brandon Childress does not make the right play there. You're overhelping on a guy who's not a great shooter. But Mooney feels it. He skips it over to TJ Gibbs, and you get a 3 out of it.
And Musius, look at what Wake Forest did with Musius. He scored 9 points in 2 minutes. And that was really how they forged their lead. But now that lead is down to just 1 point. As you just saw, Gibbs and company fighting back for the Irish. An opportunity for Notre Dame to take their first lead since it was 2-0. Good look for Goodwin, couldn't quite get the pass in the right spot. Hub, way off the mark, I should say, and Leschewski couldn't quite keep it in bounds.
Again, he runs hot and cold. A guy who has had some big-time moments this year. You go back to that win at Syracuse. Was so big down the stretch in that game. Was really good the other day in that loss to Florida State.
People don't forget, he and Cole Anthony were going toe-to-toe in that opener before Anthony just blew the thing open in the second half. Childress probing, just nothing there. Now it's Neath's turn. Step back. Off the back of the iron, but gets his own rebound, and tough to Musius. He can't get it to go. Okwama went there with the putback. Well, Mike Brey also said that in our conversation. Can't give Wake Forest second chances.
Without Mooney. And right after that possession, Mike Brey gets Mooney up off the bench. He's over at the scorer's table. But, you know, without John Mooney on the floor, they are not a very good rebounding team.
Musius being aggressive, but we'll get an offensive call here on that screen. Mooney back in for Leschewski. That's 18 fouls on Wake Forest. Hub driving. Lost his balance, but was able to get it back out. Jogo logging some minutes for Notre Dame. Nice look. Mooney can't finish, but Gibbs is there after the pass to tip it in.
Gibbs just following the play, staying with it. Not assuming a make by Mooney.
Childress answers. Goodwin gets open. He knocks down the jumper at the free throw line. Inside of Musius, turnaround, short. Here comes Hub, head up. Spin move on Childress. Goodwin for 3. Not good.
It's a big,
Jogo is just crashing the boards. It's Saturday at 6 o'clock Eastern right here on the ACC Network. Catch Boston College and North Carolina from the Dean Center in Chapel Hill. Tar Heels have won 12 straight against the Eagles over the last 10 seasons. Childress shut off as he tried to drive through the paint. Here's Mucius. Oguama barely through iron. Hub. Everything but the finish. Sharon Wright Jr. now getting some minutes for Danny Manning's club. Childress with the shot fake. Now he takes it before getting hammered, raked across the face by Hub.
And really, it's because of the work he does on the glass, which he has done a nice job of here tonight, especially with Sarr off the floor.
Sarr's only played, as you mentioned, those 6 minutes, but he has 7 points. Mucius, Masood, they've stepped up in his absence. Oguama has played very tough, too, down low. Sarr, one of a number of Wake Forest Deacons, 3 of them, as a matter of fact, with 2 fouls in this first half. Manning is playing a little musical chairs over there, trying to keep guys from getting that third. Having to go to his bench. That's why you see Sharon Wright Jr. playing. Childress knocks down both free throws. The lead is 3. Childress has 10 here in the first half. A little pressure from the Deeks.
Yeah, they've been pretty consistent with that after made free throws all year. That little 2-1-2 just to make you think, slow you down a little bit.
Mooney working on Oguama. Pfluger, shot fake, now to the corner. Jogo, he's going to drive baseline.
Oh, it was there. It was the right idea.
Down too, right.
He just, Dane Goodwin not looking at it, but that was the right decision. And when you cut like that, so many times the defense does what Goodwin did there. They just kind of stop seeing the ball. Whereas if you look for it and you try to be a scorer.
Over to right, drives, floater, good. Number 2, Jr. Lead back up to 5. Goodwin gets inside and gets the roll to go.
He's had that now twice tonight where he just gets it to the elbow. I mean, that's repetitions in the gym. He gets it to that elbow off of one bounce right into the pull-up.
Inside to Mucius. Johnson for 3. Off the mark. Mucius is there with the rebound. And he's stripped by Gibbs. Ahead to Jogo. Saves it to Gibbs. Now to Goodwin. He had a look, thought about it, decides to pull it out. Quick pass. Jogo for 3. Just off. That would have sent this crowd into a frenzy.
And again, a good ball reversal. They get the movement. You get a good shot out of it. And Notre Dame, because of some of that foul trouble, they've been staying in this 2-3 zone.
Childress, does he get the bounce? He does. Wow. That's 12 for him in the first half.
Friendly. A friendly bounce. But that foul line area against the 2-3 zone, they're flashing a guy there, and it's been open.
Mooney, just look at him, power on the baseline. Still battling for his own rebound. Upset at himself because he couldn't get the bucket, but he'll get the foul instead. Coming up on the State Farm Halftime Report, Kelsey Riggs and Jordan Cornette will be in studio. They'll talk about our game, plus they'll preview Louisville coming up at Boston College. That's our 9 o'clock tip here on the ACC Network.
You know, John Mooney at the line here. You know, you hope by the end of the year, he was 3rd team All-ACC last year. You hope by the end of the year he gets the recognition he deserves. He is a first-team All-ACC player. Now, they're 2-6 in the conference. And so, you know, sometimes you can look at guys like that and it affects where they're placed. This is a first-team All-ACC player. He's had a heck of a career in this conference and has become significantly better in his time here. What a tough kid.
And the big man is only 58% from the line, but he knocks down those 2 free throws. The Irish close down to within 3. Final minute of the first half. Wright tried to penetrate, shut off. Here's Childress. Tried to work it inside. Knocked out of bounds by the Irish. 10 to shoot. Mike Brey's going to call a timeout, talk things over. Wake Forest, Brandon Childress, having missed Wake Forest's last game. 2-point loss to Virginia on Sunday, back at it, and have himself a heck of a first half. He's got 12.
Yeah, he hasn't looked hobbled at all.
Now he'll spot up for 3 and hits that shot. They'll give him 2. He had a foot on the line. Mooney cut into the bucket.
What a cut. And their spacing gives you that. There's nobody in the paint. And a great backdoor cut and a good read.
Timeout on the court. 25.2 to go.
Here's the spacing we're talking about. There's nobody in the lane. Wide open. And it just leads to that. And you have to be, as a defender, activated on the backside. So Torrey Johnson and Masood, you have to stay home. And so you can't clog the paint. And it just leaves that cut. And a great play by Mooney.
Probably a smart play by Musius on that play not to pick up the foul after he got beat by Mooney. Irish great at taking care of the basketball. Their assist to turnover ratio is fantastic, and they don't foul very often either. They don't put teams on the free throw line.
Mike Brey was saying to me yesterday, he goes, you know, I wouldn't blame my team if they turned to me and said, we're 2-6, but we're doing everything you ask. We don't turn it over. We're leading the nation, and we don't foul. We're leading the nation. What's the deal, coach?
Well, they've played well. They've just been snake bit in the final minutes of games. They've been in so many games. They just can't find a way to win those games. And we're poised to have another close one here with Wake up 3, final seconds of this first half. Childress sizing up Gibbs. Now he's got Pfluger on him. Drives with the left. Wow. Gets it to go.
It's a bad matchup for Pfluger.
Hub at the buzzer. Off the mark. Childress, 10 points in the last 5 minutes of that first half.
And he's just ISO. I mean, like on that last play, he is just ISO. There's no ball screen. And he is just going off the bounce. And Notre Dame has no matchup for Brandon Childress.
16 points for Childress in that first half. Wake Forest on the road. Trying to hand another L to the Irish. They're up 5. When we return, Kelsey Riggs and Jordan Cornett will be with us with the State Farm Halftime Report after these messages. Somebody else to really contribute for them on the offensive end.
Well, that they're going to have to defend. I talked to Ryan Ayers, Mike Brey's assistant coach, coming out of halftime, and he said, we got to pressure him a little bit. We got to make it harder for him to catch. We got to get the ball out of his hands and make somebody else beat us.
Wake Forest shot the ball very well in that first half, and a lot of them were drives to the bucket. 53% for Wake Forest. Notre Dame, contrarily, 35% from the floor. Here's Gibbs for 3. Off the back of the mark, off the back of the rim, and Sarr is there for the rebound. So Sarr picked up 2 quick fouls. He left at the 12:03 mark in that first half, Chris, and he didn't return, so he's going to have to warm that engine back up here.
Well, and both these guys, Durham and Sarr, limited minutes in that first half.
Sarr off the mark, Mooney with the board.
And it changes both these teams. Without Durham in the game, without Sarr in the game.
Mooney working on Musius. That's a good sign for the Irish to start the second half. Johnson gets a little bit of a bump from Hub. Sorry, he'll look to drive. Spins to his left. Wow. Nice move.
His dexterity for a guy his size is incredible. I mean, it is high level.
Young man out of Toulouse, France, the junior. And Mooney keeps working on Mucius now down low. Foul on.
And you see the emphasis. Both these teams, they're going right into the post, right onto the block to start this half. There's Mooney on one end. And then right here, off the catch, Sarr showing you could put it on the floor. Look at the dance step in the lane.
Second great drive we've seen from the 7-footer in this game. Kick by Johnson.
And that's where that high ball screen with Sarr and Childress is tough, because Notre Dame tried to double off the ball screen to stay with Childress. That's how Sarr was able to catch.
So 20 to shoot now for the Irish. Mooney for three. Off the mark. Here comes White. Pushing it for the Deeks. Into Sarr. Spin move on the baseline. Mooney is there for the board. Here's Gibbs from the free throw line. He gets the bounce.
Tough shot. Tough shot. But they get you moving with that weave stuff they run, with that ball screen stuff. And a nice job just getting to his spot, pulling up.
Mucius for three. Off the front of the rim. Pfluger will look to push for the Irish. Now he settles it back out. Trying to get it down low to Mooney. Good look. Help comes. Mooney misses it first. Strong on the offensive glass.
That's a John Mooney bucket right there. He's just relentless. And he delivers the first contact. If you're going to come over, you got to come stronger than that, because he's going right to your chest. And he's not going to stop until he finishes the play. No coat for Mike Brey.
Now he lost the jacket.
He's losing $20,000. Now he's losing his jacket. He's being stripped down right in front of us.
Still a smile on his face. As his Irish now drawn even with the Deeks. Childress had 16 in that first half. Yet to find the score in the second half. Hub will look to push. Good look to Mooney. Blocked.
Ooh.
Hub pulls the board though. Pfluger. Fake the three. Now out to Hub. He'll shoot the three. Can't find the range. Hub is just cold tonight. White on the breakout. Lays it in.
Oh, and Hub took the shot in the corner, and the defensive balance was bad. You get the run out and lay up on the other end.
The Irish just 3 of 14 from beyond the arc. Pfluger would change that with that shot. And the Irish take their first lead since the very early moments of this game. 2-0 was the last time they led. Trying to get inside the Sarr. He's got Durham on him. Now he'll face the basket, spin again with that left. Trying to get it to Durham. Nice hands by Childress.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
The turnover gets it back to the Irish, and the Irish have retaken the lead. 46-45. BC maybe hopes that Jordan Wara visited a place up on the north end. Maybe Pretza ate a little too much pasta. Got BC and Louisville coming up next on the ACC network.
He was with you last night, diving your face into a plate of ziti.
Oh, so much.
It's disgusting to watch. Chris Cotter.
I will put down some carbs, man. The way these two teams are going at it, we might be working those carbs off in overtime. As Gibbs rather, gets fouled on the three-point attempt, he'll shoot three.
I mean, this is just falling asleep. This is just a baseline skip that every team has if the defense isn't paying attention. And Torrey Johnson just caught asleep, and then to double down, he fouls the shooter on an out-of-control closeout.
Gibbs hits the first of three. Interestingly enough, for Notre Dame, they had missed 7 straight three-point attempts before Pfluger hits that one to put them ahead, and now they get a foul on another attempt, and Gibbs gets an opportunity to shoot 3 free throws. Hits the first 2. Gibbs hits all 3. The lead is now 4. An 11-2 rush for the Irish.
A little pressure picking up after the foul shot.
Irish also perfect from the free throw line tonight, 13 for 13. Trying to get Sarr involved. They do. And he'll pick up the foul. Let's see if this is on Durham. It is. That's 3.
You know, it's been tough for Notre Dame, that ball screen with Sarr and Childress, because you want to stay with Childress. You want to try to get the ball out of his hands, but Sarr does a nice job on that possession there, rolling to the basket, getting 2 feet in the paint, and he gets 2 feet in the paint at 7 feet tall. You only got one choice, and that's to foul him. Did I tell you a couple games ago, during a shoot-around, I went up to Sarr. I was trying to speak French to him. Use some of the French that I know. Bonjour.
That's it, isn't it? Is that the extent of it?
Merci.
They changed that foul to Mooney. It might be good news for Notre Dame. At least Durham doesn't pick up his 3rd. I'm sure Sarr appreciated your attempt, your effort at speaking French.
I don't think he did.
Goodwin now open for 3. He hits.
It is pure. Coming out of his hands, it is pure.
The Irish average over 10 threes a game. They were cold in the first half, but they are heating up here in the second. Childress tried to force the pass into Sarr, cannot get it, and the foul.
Well, and Sarr was open. I mean, wide open. And it's tough to get it through traffic, through all those hands. You've got to put it up. Just put it up at the rim. Sarr will go and get it. He was wide open.
Five team fouls already on Wake Forest at the 14.5-minute mark here in the second. Krzyzewski opted not to take the 3, instead drives and gets the bucket.
Well, the body control to get around the defender and a little finger roll.
Coach Brey likes it when number 14 gets aggressive on the offensive end, and he has tonight. Masood for 3. He knocks that down. Likewise for Manning, wants to see number 25 chuck it up. Gibbs takes him on the baseline. Ball knocked away.
Here's this drive by Krzyzewski, and the ability to get around. The secondary defender comes over, no charge to be taken, and a nice kiss off the glass. It's been a bit of a breakout game tonight for Krzyzewski.
Very good, averages about 6.5 a game. Pfluger, nice look to Goodwin on the inbounds. Gets the reverse lane to go.
That's 5 points in the last 2 minutes on under out of bounds. The special teams of basketball. Great execution there by Notre Dame.
Irish have upped their lead to 7. Picked off by Hub. Here's Gibbs. Takes it into the paint. No chance. Childress step back. Hasn't gotten much going here early in the second half. Finished with a flurry in the first. Scoreless this half. Goodwin tried to get it to Krzyzewski. Now he does for 3. just in and out, rimmed out.
Mike Brey buying minutes with Mooney and Durham on the bench. You got Leshevsky as your primary big, having to guard Sarr here.
Sarr, look at that move too. Split the double team.
I'm telling you what now, that's a big time post player.
Some people in the NBA are starting to work on their French.
Won't be better than mine. Oui.
Leshevsky, that's a nice move. He's got 11 points.
But does he speak French?
I wouldn't put it past him. Sarr. He'll get called for the offensive foul.
I don't like that call. That's a block to me. That's a block. There's not even a question. I mean, he's not in a legal guarding position. He doesn't have 2 feet facing the offensive player. And the only way you're allowed to move if those first 2 things are in place, and they were not. That's a block. And it's a big call.
It's a big call. Sarr picks up his 3rd foul, first of the second half, but 3rd of the game. The Irish with a 7-point lead. The ball, Leshevsky for 3. Childress with the board. Back into Sarr. Now he faces the basket. With the left. Goodwin with the rebound. Hub. Back to Goodwin. Coach Brey stealing some minutes with a lot of players off his bench, including Jogo. Gibbs drives. He gets the bucket to go. Manning wants to talk things over. The lead has ballooned to 9. With Mooney on the bench. Everything going right for the
offensive glass for Notre Dame. A big part of them having a 9-point lead in this game.
Big Mooney had 5 of his 10 rebounds in this game have been on the offensive glass for Mooney, so he's been impressive. And on the flip side, Brandon Childress was impressive for Wake in the first half. He had 16 points. He still has 16 points. Yeah. 0 points in the second half on just 1 field goal attempt. With Sarr in the game, they've really made a concerted effort to get the ball down low to him on the block.
Well, especially with Leshevsky guarding him. You know, Mooney and Durham both out of the game.
Extra pass to White. Now he drives. Tough shot falling down. Joe goes there for the rebound. Goodwin lost it. Here comes White. Puts it up, but he'll get fouled by Hub.
That Kobe Bryant it was like a rumor going around that Kobe had gone to Africa to watch on a safari, to watch how lions stalk their prey. And when I was told this story, I'm like, there's no way, get out of here. This is just a Kobe myth. And so we go to the next practice and I'm rebounding for him, and I got up the courage to ask him, Kobe, I heard this story. Is it true? Did you really go on a safari because you wanted to learn how lions stalk their prey? Is it true? And he says, does it matter?
You're right. That's a great line by Kobe. Leshevsky continues to play well. During the break, we said, look at Mike Brey. He's keeping Mooney and he's keeping Durham on the bench because it's worked so well for him. It's because of players like Leshevsky playing aggressively.
And he was saying that today. We just got to get something from our bench. And his bench has come up huge tonight.
Before the shot, Leshevsky called for the foul, and Mooney's coming back in. Pfluger as well. Notre Dame has 12 points off their bench in this half, outscoring Danny Manning's bench 12-3.
shot.
Three.
Yeah, big
Huge
shot.
Three nailed that time by Adrian White, who's been quiet offensively in this game. That's a big shot.
Wow.
An answer from Gibbs, who's also been quiet offensively. Foul on the play on the Irish. Thursday night's women's basketball doubleheader on the ACC network starts in South Florida, Miami and Georgia Tech at 6 o'clock Eastern. Then it's off to Central New York for Virginia Tech and Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. That's Thursday on the ACC network. Krzyzewski picking up his third foul for the Irish. He'll have a seat. So now both Mooney and Durham in the game for Mike Brey. White another three. This one off the mark, and Mooney picks the rebound. Gibbs takes a tumble. Gets it back. He'll look to drive baseline. Clears himself a little bit of space. Misses, though. Here comes Childress. Scoreless in this second half. 16 in the first.
Go to Sarr. He's got a mismatch.
Instead, he gets it to White. And an offensive foul.
A drive there and a good help coming over. Look, that's a charge by definition. You know, Gibbs starts to go down before the contact's there, right? I mean, to me, that's... Anyway, who knows with the block charge and the flops and all the rules we have in this game surrounding the block and the charge.
Call goes Notre Dame's way and against White. That's three. Mooney, look at him work inside. You see his thought about it. He had a big first half. He's been quiet in the second half, too. Gets to the baseline. Can't convert, but he's fouled.
Somebody grabbed the rim. Here's John Mooney on this end. I mean, Mucius, there's no shot there. Just no shot.
Mucius on the line as he and his Deacon team try and cut into that 12-point deficit.
This is what I was talking about on this shot. This should be an and one. I thought Mooney grabbed the rim. That's goaltending. Yeah. That should be a basket.
His crew missed it. It's interesting. Mucius and Childress combined for 25 points in that first half. That free throw by Mucius, and now this one, the first two they've scored combined in the second half.
That's why
really the spark plug.
That's why they're down 10.
Mooney for three. We'll get a whistle. That call is going to go against Wake Forest. Torrey Johnson.
That's his second. The team shooting two for the Irish. Juwan Durham. Here it is. 1-1.
Durham will go to the line to shoot 1-1 for the Irish. Off the back iron, Johnson, who committed the foul, pulls the rebound. Here comes Neath. Quickly to the bucket. Strong move. Played through contact.
I don't know how that's not a foul.
Hub has it temporarily knocked away. Pfluger finds Mooney. He gets it stripped. Childress will look to push for three. In and out. Here's Pfluger.
Nice extra.
Wide open for three, and he drains it.
That is a well-executed fast break. Starts on one side on the pitch ahead, and then you get a ball reversal to a wide-open shooter. Great offense.
Cubs' first points of the game puts the Irish up 11. Mucius off. Oglama battling for the rebound and puts it back in. Mooney now working on Oglama. Finds a cutting Goodwin with the layup.
It's a great find by Mooney, and he keeps his composure. He just never stops playing. Ball gets knocked away. He gathers himself, and a nice little shovel.
Wild shot by Childress, almost gets it to go, and he's fouled.
Here's this execution, though, on the secondary break. Who's going to get it back? Cross-court pass, and here's your ball reversal. And then Hub, after the cross-court pass, settles into that slot. You get a wide-open three.
Notre Dame always good in the assisted turnover ratio, and they are again tonight. In the second half, 7 assists and 3 turnovers, and they're shooting 58% from the floor. A complete reversal of the first half when it was Wake Forest who was shooting the ball so well. Childress finally getting some points here in the second half. They're going to need him, obviously, in the next 6 minutes and 36 seconds. Goodwin's had a great night off the bench. 14 points for the Irish. So is this guy, Leshevsky, muscling his way and can't get it to go.
Yeah, he got fouled.
Now we get the late call here from Teddy Valentine, but he does make it.
Let's go, fellas. Like, these things are obvious. There's a great post play there by Leshevsky, who continues to play well. A nice shot fake, got the defender up, and you got to reward a guy when he draws a foul.
It's an interesting shot there of Danny Manning having a word with one of our officials on the night. Leshevsky missing the first free throw. There's Manning.
Nobody knows post play better than that guy right there.
Leshevsky hits the second. He has 15 on the night. Ten-point advantage for Notre Dame. Sarr got good position. The pass was a little bit off. He was able to come back and make the bucket. 14 for Sarr. Even though he had to sit much of the first half with early foul trouble. Joker, look at that strong move. Just can't get it to go. This bench for Mike Brey tonight has really played well. Childress draws the foul. Friday night at 9 Eastern, catch the next Bald Men on Campus. The Weekend Studio Basketball Show that previews weekend's ACC slate of games, as well as covering the latest news from around the conference. Jay Billis, Seth Greenberg, and LaFonso Ellis, who will someday soon have his banner raised here inside of Purcell Pavilion in the Ring of Honor. Next Saturday, by the way, is Kelly Tripucka Day when Georgia Tech comes to town. It's just reeking of nostalgia.
What do those guys do on the show? Just sit around and slander people with hair?
Guys like Kelly Tripucka with not only great hair, but a great mustache.
My man he did have a perm.
Oh,
he had a perm back in the day.
The socks up to the knees. I mean, old school. They'll honor him on Saturday when Georgia Tech comes here to South Bend. Someday, Fonz. Someday that banner will hang. Jordan Cornette back in studio. They'll hang one for you too, I'm sure.
So it's not tied to donorship then, I guess. Because the alumni office is still trying to find Cornette's number.
Trying to open up that checkbook. Wake scratching and clawing here with just under 5.5 to go. Inadvertent horn. Irish will take it out of bounds. He had inadvertent horn. Irish up 6 with the ball. Teddy Valentine and Bill Covington talking things over here at midcourt. Now they'll come over and explain it to us. Okay, now they're just making sure that the clock is synced up as well, which it is, and we're ready to go. Here's Hub coming off a screen. Gets it to Gibbs. Fluger was trying to work on Mucius. Man,
big shots.
TJ Gibbs, he has heated up here in the second half.
And they've been timely. You know, Wake trying to make a push, and TJ Gibbs has quieted the push with 2 big threes.
Yeah, Hub has not had a very good offensive night, but Gibbs has. Sarr has as well. Flushes down 2 more. Fluger for 3. Off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Childress. Try to get down low to Sarr. Misses the dunk initially, but gets his own board.
He's doing work. He's been the only consistent offense for them in this second half. He's been almost unstoppable, especially when he catches it low.
Like we said, he only played 6 minutes in that first half, but he's got 11 of his 18 here in the second. Off the mark is Gibbs from the corner. Mucius attacks the rim and gets the bucket to go. The lead is down to 3. Mike Brey wants to talk things over. Deeks on a 6-0 run. And just like that, at Purcell Pavilion, where Jordan Cornette had so many special nights. Notre Dame up by 3. It looked like they had this game in control, up double digits. Wake Forest is just scratching and clawing their way back. And now the Irish coming out of a timeout here with possession, up 3 points. Goodwin just off the back of the iron.
A good look out of the timeout. Can't get a better shot than that.
Inside to Sarr. Went up for the dunk. Mooney challenged. Krzyzewski for 3. That is a big shot. That's 18 points for the Krzyzewski off the bench.
It's been his best game. There's no question. He has come up huge.
I might smell a Player of the Game award for Krzyzewski if Notre Dame can hang on, up 6. And Childress will be fouled.
And it started with the ball screen, you know, trying to stay with the ball. The defense on the backside sucks in. Krzyzewski stays home behind that 3-point line and shoots it with confidence. This is a guy who has been up and down this year. Hasn't shot it well from 3, only 30% from there on the season. Shot that one like he meant it. Will Mike Brey's shirt be untucked by the end of this thing is the question.
And it is warm here inside Purcell Pavilion, and he might be sweated through also and untucked.
You know, him going off in the press conference the other day, he's the cool uncle in college basketball, and he really is. I mean, he's a great guy. But it shows you there's a fire that burns within, and he wants to win just as much as anybody.
Childress' free throws bring that lead back down to 4 for the Irish. Gibbs just had a big second half. Drives to the bucket and gets it to go in one.
And how does he find the window? I mean, he's got to slide this thing under the arms. Look at this. Finds the angle, and how many big shots in this second half has TJ Gibbs knocked down?
15 in this stanza, Chris. He's got 22, make it 23 for the game.
When he turns that corner, gets himself downhill, he is tough to stop, and what a finish that was.
Irish look to make a stop on the defensive end now after pushing the lead back up to 7. Sarr out to Johnson.
Not a good shot.
That's going to be off the mark. Mucius is battling for the rebound. It'll go out of bounds to Wake.
And you're lucky. That was not a good shot by Torrey Johnson. A long 2 at this point in the game. That ball either's got to go up from Sarr or it's got to go up from Childress, especially if it's going to be a tough one like that.
Just under 2 minutes left to go in this game. Irish up 7. The officials will go review this call. On the court, ruled off Notre Dame. I'm not sure you can do anything to reverse that. Do you, Chris?
Well, you're wearing glasses, so you're.
Doesn't mean I can see anything.
That was my point.
Even with the glasses. Worthless.
That prescription hasn't been changed.
Yeah, we need to do some work on that. I can see it. This is a big call in this game.
Big call. And that's why this is one of the reviews I do like. Now, I think they take too long. I think we need to be able to figure this out. But you should, under 2 minutes, be able to review whose ball this is. You want to go lend him your glasses?
I'd get a good cheer out of the crowd if I did that. I promise you that. Take one more look at it. I just don't think you can change it.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to tell.
It would be whether Sarr's left hand gets in there.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell with Gibbs's hand. Gibbs's hand is in there as well. So with the call on the floor being Wake, that's tough to overturn.
Don't forget, we've got Boston College and Louisville coming up next here on the ACC Network. And it's going to stay with Wake Forest.
You got 20 seconds on the shot clock off the offensive rebound.
Deeks jumped the gun a little bit there. Teddy Valentine now whistles ball into play. Childress, step back. Couldn't get it to go. Musi is battling for the board, and it'll stay with Wake.
I'll tell you what, Brandon Childress on that move looked a lot like his daddy. Sitting over there on that bench, one of Danny Manning's assistants. That's a Randolph Childress move right there.
But Brandon Childress wasn't able to bury the shot now. Still 0 field goals in this second half. Trying to change that here and can't. Mooney with his 16th rebound of the night. Pardon me, 12th. 0 for 4 in this second half is Childress. Carried this team in the first half. Hug just willing to work on a little bit of clock here for the Irish. Now he takes it in on Sarr. Just can't get it to go. Childress pushes it. Adrian White thought better of it. Now trying to get it across to Childress. Dangerous pass, but Childress keeps it and gets the layup.
Well, the best part of the play was saving the ball. I mean, that should have been a turnover, and Childress stays with the play, keeps possession.
A great finish.
What a play. A game-saving play by Brandon Childress. This is a bad pass. Should have been a steal, and Childress just makes a play over the top. And like you said, how about that for a floater?
Looked like even Gibbs might have gotten a little bit of a fingertip on it, and he's still got it to go. Irish had the ball, 1:05 to go. Up by 5. Tonight's player of the game brought to you by Zaxby's. John Mooney, no surprise there. 15 points, 12 rebounds. He averages 15 and 13, so he's right on it.
He's back on the double-double train.
Yeah, had his consecutive double-doubles game streak stopped at 12 last time out, but now he's starting a new one.
And Wake going to pick up here. You don't need to foul. I mean, you could play this out, get a stop here.
Pfluger to inbound the ball for the Irish. Gets it into Hub. Johnson opting to foul Hub.
And he's the one guy, he and Mooney are the worst foul shooters on Notre Dame's team. So you're okay sending him to the line. Again, I didn't think you needed a foul there. You could have played that out.
Up 69% on the year. Hits the first. Sophomore hits both. Lead back up to 7. Clock ticking under a minute. Childress has to go. Gives it up to White. Tough shot for White. Gibbs is right there to pull the rebound. He's had a great night tonight.
Well, now I would foul.
And you got to now.
Now you have to foul.
And they fouled the right guy in Mooney. Just 58% coming into this game from the line. Sarr picks up his 4th. But it's desperation time right now for Wake Forest.
Well, like you said, we had 2 long twos. Torrey Johnson's a minute or so ago, and then that one there. I mean, they're just not good shots. The only guy who should be taking a tough shot like that is Brandon Childress. Sarr doesn't get a touch. Just not well executed.
Manning opting to go with Masood instead of Mucius. Hoping to get a little bit more range. Irish deadly from the free throw line. 19 of 21 in this game.
That and the offensive glass. Been the 2 areas.
Childress works his way in. Can't get the bucket to go. White now. Rims it out. Olivier Sarr battling for the rebound. Look at it. Held ball. And the possession will stay with Wake Forest.
No ball. Possession stays with Wake Forest.
.5 to go here. Stay with us on the ACC network. We're going to go to Boston College. Louisville up in Conti form, taking on the Eagles. Pfluger, good defense on White, but he gets it to go. That's what you didn't want to do if you were Pfluger. Defend him well, but don't give him the and one.
But he plays right through Pfluger's chest. Pfluger trying to go for that tie-up, and a foul shot, a made foul shot here makes it a 2-possession game. You pick up after this, you lay on a foul right away.
Both coaches subbing offense for defense here, with White looking to complete the 3-point play.
Yeah, get Mooney back in the game for rebounding, because an offensive rebound here kills you.
Right on point, my friend. Mooney pulls the board and gets fouled. The double-double machine with another one tonight. Our Zaxby's player of the game.
This is why you make the sub on this, because an offensive rebound kills you, so you go to a guy who has just been so dominant on the glass. He is fun to watch. So is he. Both of them have a nice little 5 o'clock shadow going, too, that I respect.
That's 18 on the game for Mooney, to go along with 13 boards. And the one thing, too, about Mooney, we talked about how if there's an area in his game he really needs to improve upon, free throw shooting is one of them, and he's been perfect from the line tonight. Stays that way. Didn't even give him the announcer jinx. Quick hands by Hub to steal that pass. Pfluger will be fouled. Hard foul, but clean foul by White. White comes over. Good sportsmanship. No, a little wry smile there from Coach Brey.
He's got to be loving a 9-point win. And finally a home win in conference.
In his last 7 major conference wins, if you take the Alabama A&M game out, have all been decided by 5 points or fewer. 5 of those games decided by 1 possession. So a little bit of a chance to breathe here for Coach Brey and the Irish. Pfluger misses the second, and Childress will just allow the clock to wind down. Mike Brey and the Irish pick up their 3rd conference win of the year. They improved to 12-8 overall, 3-6 in ACC play. Meanwhile, Danny Manning and the Deacons dropped to 9-11 overall, 2-8 in ACC play. Stars came to play for the Irish, and they got great contributions from their bench. In the end, it was enough to get the win. For Chris Patola, I'm Chris Cotter saying so long from South Bend, Indiana.